which can impact, the whole civilization of Lucknow who are staying here. So how do we do that? So what basically the idea is, okay? So what we are going to do is to bring the manufacturers and service providers close to the market. That is our first idea and target, okay? So, and how do we do that? Why do Microsens or companies like Microsens come to Lucknow? So we will be providing them infrastructure, we will be providing them opportunities to come and produce in Lucknow, sell in Lucknow, take it globally. So we'll be also creating an experience center where the new companies which will be coming, they will not start with a factory, right? So they will start with a concept. They will show how their products are used in an IoT world. So we'll be creating an experience center where virtually you can actually see their products, the applications of those products, and then we will be also enabling their sales in India, and once it reaches a threshold, then we will invite them to set up the manufacturing location here. And all this will happen in a state-of-the-art building. What you can see, in next slides, that it would be a ready-made factory where people will come and they can start the production in few months. That is the basic idea. So in next few months, and we have already started this journey, last couple of days, that we are shortlisting the list of all IoT components, which are required to make the domain live. So we are not going to sell only products from this Lucknow IoT park. We are going to sell total solutions. Okay, so we will be selecting few domains to start with. Okay, so maybe agriculture is a domain, for example. Traffic management is a domain. Climate change is a domain. Smart building is a domain. So like that, we will select domains, and we will make an ecosystem of all the items which are required to make that domain live. So we will just not, why people get shocked and awed by IoT word, what is IoT, because there are so many components, so many elements in it, there are software, there are hardwares, what will make it work? It is not very common, right? Means it's not very, people are not very familiar, only few technical people, or you have to go to consultants to make the whole ambit of what the IoT application is all about clear. So what we are going to do is to select the domain, and then we are bringing all suppliers related to that domain in one place. So we will be able to sell solutions to the state. Okay. So this is how we are conceptualizing. So this is just a thing, something in our mind right now, that it would be a facility, what we think about 70 manufacturers would be there minimum, which will be required for making this whole ecosystem. And why only, so one of the questions was why only Uttar Pradesh? So because this is a state with 22-25 crore people, right? And this is the state which requires IoT the most for welfare of their people. How do you reach to the remotest and the remote of the place? How do you do that? So we take advantage of the IoT and the technology which will enable us to do that. So we found that UP has been the most progressive and responsive. We have in last few months we have been able to connect with so many people, and we got so positive response from everyone that we are so encouraged that that we thought that this is the place where we should start our journey from. And again, as I said, this has been one of the largest state probably of the world, not only of India. That here the opportunities are most. The application you think, you will find a way to implement it in this state. So we have to, this is the state where you can do all kind of experiments and also implement those. So that is why Lucknow. And why Lucknow? Because since this field is new, so we have to be very close to the regulators, talk to them every day, frame up things. We have to work with the customers on one side, at the same time in the regulator to set things up, to set the specifications, to make sure that we are connected with every day on a daily basis to devise a mechanism and how to implement IoT in all fields and walks of life. I think Lucknow is the best place to be. So This building, what we are, this is something which our developers would be developing with us. So we have partners already who are present in this meeting who have shared this idea and their interest on how it would be done. So this would be a state-of-the-art building, which would be like vertical building. It's called a vertical factory. We are calling it as a sky building, and this will host all the manufacturing of the factories what we are trying to bring to Lucknow. Okay. So this would have all common facilities, it would be a state-of-the-art. Since this is the factory which will be building IoT components, this would be itself a showcase and a center where people can come and see how IoT can be implemented in a smart building, for example, to start with. So this would be the most state-of-the-art buildings, I'll talk about few features in a few seconds as well. So this would have the idea is that the basement of this building would be complete warehouse for all the factories. There will be hyperloop system which will be connected to each of the floor where the material will flow. It would have an experience center where people can come and share their. So it's not only for the suppliers. So for example, we have been actively discussing with few hydropower plant companies to set up their whole control center in one location. So all the power plants in Uttar Pradesh, for example, can be monitored, can be controlled, can be, all the predictive maintenance, preventive maintenance, and can be done from one location for all kind of power plants, for the transmission and distribution. So there's a very big application on the industrial side and as well as the urban modernization as well. So the applications are immense. Okay, so probably this building would be also too short if as we move ahead. So this would be, and why it is vertical, our idea is to reduce the footprint. There is no reason why we should go vertical. You can see that there are a lot of Microsens, sensors, switches which are there. So you require a very different kind of manufacturing facility for electronics and IoT industry. Okay, so this is not a massive plant, in acres, which is generating pollution. So this is a very different kind of a ecosystem what we need, and this ecosystem can be created in a vertical building, and it can reduce, the footprint, and we go vertical with taking that advantage. It would have a shared testing facility, shared quality control facility, shared R&D lab. So we have also, we have invited colleges in this room. So we will be also closely working with colleges, and their R&D will be one of the major, component of this whole initiative, because it is not only this whole IoT world is evolving. Okay? So nothing is permanent here. Everything changes so fast that you have to cope up with the change and bring in new application, new development ideas and thoughts in this. We have to incorporate that. Otherwise, you will become obsolete in few months. So that is how fast this world moves. So and in this, once the idea is that this whole building would be one-stop shop for any kind of application. So when the customer comes and he wants to have a solution, we'll talk about few applications in a few minutes. If he wants to have, for example, if he wants to have a stray cattle, they have a problem of stray cattle. How do I solve it? So he goes back with a total solution that, how we implement the sensors, how we take the data, how we process it, what do we do with that. So he will get a total solution from this particular location. So that is our idea. And there are different kind of layers in this whole thing. So there will be one team which will be only giving solutions, one team which will be doing the manufacturing, one team will be bringing the companies here, attracting them. So that it would be a big ecosystem of a lot of stakeholders in this whole initiative. So just to give you some statistics, I think most of you already know that, but just some interesting things that there are 7 billion connected IoT application devices today around the globe. And in 2020, in fact, the non-IoT devices were less than the IoT-enabled devices. So 2020 was a year when the IoT-enabled devices took over. Now, IoT is just as simple as the gentleman on the left side explained, that any device which can be connected is IoT device. So you can imagine that today, whatever gadgets we have in the room, everything can be, most of it, probably can be connected. Whether it is connected or not, that is a separate issue, but everything can be connected. The light can be connected, this laptop can be connected, the presentation, what we are showing, can be seen anywhere in the world. Our connected. So every gadget what you see in this room can be connected if it is not already connected. So, and there are various platforms on which different application works. And just for you to know that today the applications are not towards welfare of the society or the people. It is, we are starting that with smart cities, smart traffic, smart building. But most of it is most active in the video entertainment world in today's how it is going. So and it receives a lot of funding as well. So I think money is not a criteria for if you have the right product to develop. So just to show you a few applications, okay, like on the right hand side you can see how Bangalore city is growing. So you can actually visualize that how the city grew in a few weeks or a month, or for that matter in years. So you can plan your urban development in a proper way, whether we are going in the right direction or not. So most of the time we see the floods are happening because of unplanned growth. So you can take help and support of the IoT devices that where your people should be and where our population should not be. So you can actually see, for example, how a river swells over a period of time. So this is okay, I don't know why it is not showing here. So anyway, on my laptop I can see this, it's not being reflected here. So you can actually see the growth of